Listen to me. You are not too far gone, not too dirty, not too broken, not too messed up for God to love you. See, the world may cancel you. People may remember your worst memories. But heaven doesn't call you by your failure. Heaven calls you by your name. And the cross already factored in your worst mistakes. I know what the enemy has been whispering. You blew it, right? You can't come back. You're damaged goods. God's done with you. But let me tell you something that will flip that lie on its head. God's mercy is bigger than your mess. If mistakes disqualified you, the Bible would be empty, right? Because Moses was a murderer. David was an adulterer. Peter was a coward. Paul was a persecutor, right? And yet every single one of them became a story of redemption. If grace worked for them, it can work for you. We all got regrets. Words we wish we could unsay. Choices we wish we could unmake. Nights we wish we could forget. But grace is God saying your story doesn't end there. See, Romans 8:1 says, there is no condemnation for those in Christ Jesus. That's not a maybe. That's not a sometimes. That's a promise. Think about Peter. He denied Jesus 3 times. When Jesus needed him most, Peter failed. But after the resurrection, Jesus looked at him in the eye and said, feed me my sheep. See, failure didn't get the last word. Grace did. Think about Paul. He hunted Christians, threw them in prison, approved their deaths. But on the road to Damascus, grace knocked him down and raised him up as a preacher to the nations. Think about David. His sin was ugly, right? Public, shameful. But when he repented, God still called him a man after my own heart. Do you see the pattern? Your past may explain you, but it does not define you. Maybe your label is divorced. Maybe your label is addict. Maybe your label is failure, but grace has a different label, forgiven. Maybe people only see the mess you made, but God, He sees the masterpiece He's still creating in you. Let me ask you, what if your worst mistakes was the stage for your greatest testimony? What if the thing you thought disqualified you was actually the thing God will use to set somebody else free? Life is like driving, right? You've got a giant windshield in front of you and a tiny rearview mirror. Why? Because where you're going matters more than where you've been. Too many of us are living with our eyes glued to the rearview mirror, and we wonder why we keep crashing. See, grace is God saying, eyes forward, I already paid for what's behind you. So how do you stop letting mistakes define you? Confess it, don't hide it. 1 John 1:9 says, He is faithful to forgive. Replace the lies when shame says you're worthless. Answer with, I am chosen, I am loved. Change the soundtrack to stop replaying your failures. Start replaying His promises. Stay in grace-filled community, right? Walk with people who remind you of who you are in Christ. The cross doesn't deny your mistakes. The cross declares they don't define you. You are not what you did. You are not what they said. You are not your worst version of yourself. You are forgiven. You are redeemed. You are loved. You are His. So hear me. Your mistakes don't get the final word. Grace does. And if grace is strong enough to raise Jesus from the dead, it's strong enough to raise you out of regret. If this spoke to you, don't scroll away. Subscribe, because we're building a community of people who believe this together. And share this with someone who needs to know you are not too far gone.